How in the hell did Sebastian Sallow cover up a murder? This Slytherin student is easily one of the most interesting characters in Hogwarts Legacy. Furiously driven to find a way to save his sister Anne, Sebastian starts down a dark path of mysteries, ancient texts, and dark magic. For us, the player, it's not only the best storyline in the game, arguably, but our one-way ticket to learning 3 very powerful dark spells, also known as the Unforgivable Curses. Our journey with Sebastian is not without obstacles, however, with multiple characters expressing concern and outright trying to stop Sebastian from pursuing the dark arts, even if it truly is a way to save his sister. At the climax of this plot, we and Sebastian are confronted by his uncle Solomon down in the Forgotten Crypt, with Solomon attempting to destroy the device that could save Anne and then outright entering conflict with us. Sebastian, in a moment of fury, does something unforgivable.
I won't let her suffer! Avada Kedavra!
A moment later, Anne enters the room and, overwhelmed with grief and confusion, destroys the book that may have saved her before apparating away with the body of their uncle.
Oh, Anne. What have you done?
A short while later, we learn that Anne returned to Feldcroft and buried her uncle alone. The choice we're left with is whether to turn Sebastian in for his crimes or leave him be and let him get away with it. Should we turn him in, then it's assumed his crime is found out and Sebastian is expelled. Instead of a conversation with him at the end of the game, we'll instead get to talk to Ominous. But here's the thing, if Sebastian doesn't get ratted out by us, then he doesn't get found out. Both Ominous and Anne keep the secret too, and Sebastian gets away with murder. Now, let's address the elephant in the room here, because you may have been wondering how a prominent member of the tiny hamlet of Feldcroft is able to disappear with nobody apparently batting an eye. Has somebody done a Hermione's parents and made everyone forget about Solomon with Obliviate? Or is there some hot fuzz level conspiracy going on in this place? Well, the only way to find out is to return to Feldcroft and ask some of the residents. By speaking to Bernard Undier, he will tell us some very interesting information.
I'm curious to know what's happening in Feldcroft. Might you have any insight?
Well, our hamlet's in mourning at the moment, unfortunately. We recently lost one of our own. Solomon Sallow, a long-time resident, died in his sleep, and so young. Tragic twist of fate. We've all taken it rather hard, actually. The worst part is, he was guardian to his nephew and niece. She's particularly devastated. Poor girl.
Aha. So Anne, clearly unable to decide whether to turn Sebastian in, instead came up with the clever story behind Solomon's death and made it out to be a tragic but innocent event. Since Avada Kedavra leaves no physical mark on the victim, unless you're Harry Potter and deflect it, I guess no one would be any the wiser. And besides, she already buried him, right? Well, flying around Feldcroft, I can see no signs of any burial mounds, so she either did it far away or made it unnoticeable with magic. Either way, I guess nobody's going to be digging a body up for some post-mortem autopsy. If we step inside the house, we can read a letter on the table saying, quote, "Sebastian, too much has happened. I needed to get away from here for a while. I miss Uncle Solomon. I need time. I will always love you, but don't know if I can ever forgive you. Anne." End quote. So Anne did indeed lie to the village before vanishing to an undisclosed location. Probably not the best idea given her condition, but there's nothing currently in game that we can do about it. Regardless, the lie that Solomon Sallow died in his sleep seems to have been fully bought by the villagers of Feldcroft. After all, it's easier to believe than the fact that Sebastian murdered his own uncle, and that is the lie which allowed Sebastian Sallow to get away with murder. Except here's an interesting point. If we go back to just after the Shadow of the Relic quest and decide to turn Sebastian in, he'll be removed from Hogwarts with Ominous telling us that he's gone to stand trial. One might assume that at that point, the residents of Feldcroft may be made aware of the truth behind what happened to their fellow resident and friend. Returning to Bernard then, excited to hear the different dialogue outcome, it turns out to be exactly the same. The village still fully believes that Solomon died in his sleep, and Anne still leaves a note for Sebastian, despite knowing that he's probably headed for Azkaban and won't be coming back here. Now, my theory is that somebody with power in this investigation doesn't want to tarnish Sebastian to the wider world before giving him a fair trial to see if there's any justification for doing what he did. Further to that then, maybe it means that we'll definitely be seeing Sebastian in future DLC or games, and that even if you turn him in, perhaps he'll find a way somehow to wriggle out of all the trials and get away with murder, as I keep saying. It would be cool to have two different reactions when seeing him again based on whether we turned him in or not, and his loyalty might take a bit of winning back if it's the former. Either way, whatever you choose to do with Sebastian at the end of his questline, he has, to most of the world at least, seemingly gotten away with murder. And further to that, avunculicide. That's a word I just looked up and means killing one's uncle. But now I'd love to hear your thoughts on Sebastian Sallow. Is he an off-the-hook sociopath who must be stopped, or a desperate boy trying to do the right thing when everyone else has given up? Let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you found this one interesting. I'm Sam Brown, and I'll see you soon in another video.